Our final article of the night is coming from Popular Science, so popsci.com. And this is something I already knew about, but I had to talk about this because the title and the tagline are perfect together. The title is, "Boom! That time Oregon blew a whale up with dynamite." And then the tagline under it is, "And why we should never do it again."
I mean, I appreciate when someone learns their lesson the first time.
This article is by Shoshi Parks. Nailed it on the title and tagline together. Nailed it. Thank you for that. So what happened here is when a whale dies in the ocean, an ecosystem grows around its sunken carcass. There's actually a word for it where basically it becomes kind of its own reef that's just kind of floating around as things eat it. There is a word for it that I'm blanking on right now. But yeah, it becomes a whole ecosystem. Whale fall. Whale fall. Yeah. But when it dies stranded on land, that does not really happen. Scavenging birds will try to eat some, but they have very, very tough, leathery skin. And then you're just stuck with a stinking mass of rotting flesh on the shore. Insects do go after it, and that just kind of makes it turn to ooze even quicker. But it takes about 2 years for everything but the whale's skeleton to disappear. You don't want that on your beach for that long. What happened back November 9th, 1970, there was a 45-foot-long sperm whale that was stuck on shore that had died. And officials in Florence, Oregon could not wait the 2 years for that to decompose. They needed the 8-ton carcass gone as soon as possible. So the State Highway Division, which managed Oregon's coastline in those days, treated the problem as if it were a giant boulder blocking a lane of traffic. They blew it up with dynamite, igniting a blubber snowstorm, as one observer described it.
God.
A geyser of blood and muscle shot 100 feet into the air, falling on spectators stationed a quarter-mile away. The reek reportedly lingered on their skin and in their hair for days.
So the splash zone was very wide.
They miscalculated how much that was going to splash. This sounds like such a peak 1970s thing to happen, where they just didn't really think it all the way through.
I am curious, and maybe we'll find out as we get further into this, is like, did they not try to contact any sort of marine life experts?
I guess it just wasn't their jurisdiction.
Before doing this? Because it sounds like they were like, we're going to talk to, I don't know, Jim, who works in the mines, and he's like, oh yeah, just blow it up.
Well, Jim works in the State Highway Division even more so.
Yes,
so, yeah.
That too. Right. Oh my goodness.
Oh gosh. I love this quote here that says, "The method did sort of work," says James Heiss, Associate Professor of Environmental Earth and Atmospheric Sciences at University of Massachusetts at Lowell. And it goes on saying, "Just not in the way anyone hoped." Gross.
Okay.
Yeah. So Monday was when the whale carcass came ashore. Thursday morning, as workmen spent nearly 2 hours excavating holes under the body to fit 20 50-pound cases of explosives, this says its fetid reek had become almost unbearable, though that hadn't stopped a local opportunist from sawing off the whale's lower jaw for a souvenir sometime over the preceding days. Assistant Director, Highway Engineer George Thornton's plan was to strategically place the explosives to blast the whale's chunks into the river, where they'd be gently carried back to the ocean by the tide.
They literally only contacted a highway person.
Yeah. And this said that the dynamite just erupted and flung the rotting beast every which way. A 3-foot-long piece caving in the roof of a car in the beach's parking lot.
I also am very curious. Why did they think it going into the river? Like, I'm assuming the river flows into the ocean?
Yes, it flows into the ocean. Oh, there's an even better quote here. So when it stopped raining down on everybody, all that was left at the site of the explosion was a large hole in the whale's severed tail. And poor George Thornton, talking to the press, is quoted as saying, "It went exactly right," as he was apparently oblivious to the sheen of blood and bits now covering beach and everyone on it.
How do you miss that, George?
Was he doing the cool guy? Doesn't look at the explosion, like walking away?
He was like, that was amazing. And then everyone's like, George. But
Look
yeah, around you.
Apparently it helped slightly with the stench. And then a bulldozer had to move to bury the largest chunk left by the dynamite. And then Thornton just assumed seagulls would take care of the rest.
Okay.
But yeah, so they don't do that anymore. Today, the most cheap and easiest option and safest is to just leave a beached whale in place. Says James Heiss, it also returns nutrients to the food web by serving as a food source for birds, crustacean, and microbial decomposers.
I would like to say James Heiss was mentioned earlier in the article.
Yes.
He is an associate professor of environmental, earth, and atmospheric sciences. So I would say his word is probably a little better than a highway
it is
engineer in this regard.
Yes. Yeah. And he also mentions that if you can't leave it be for some reason, the standard practice now is not blowing it up, but you're supposed to bury it in the beach above the high tide line.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Don't blow it up. It's a bad idea.
I'm just saying, I really would love to have been in the room when they were like, what are we going to do about this whale? And there are so many people in there. And George gets up there. And George is like, listen, I got it. We're just going to blow it up. And I'm like, there was no one else in that room that had a better option.
I think he might have been the entire department, because surely somebody else would have been like,
I don't know about this, George. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness
unfortunately,
gracious.
He passed away. I was trying to dig into him.
He
passed away at 84. Oh, there's a picture of the whale going up. Wow. He will forever... This says, he will be forever known as the man who blew up 8 tons of whale with half a ton of dynamite, thereby creating an Oregon legend that was often thought a myth.
I'm not going to lie. The picture of him is exactly how I pictured him.
That is exactly...
That is exactly who... I was like, yeah, that is a man that would come up with that idea.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, he passed away at the age of 84. This was back in 2013. So, rest in peace, George. You are a legend, and we learned something not to do from you.
Can I just say, he did, in a newsletter later state, he complained that it fell on him because his colleagues had planned to go deer hunting.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Well, at least he
literally, and I quote says, to be fair, they had plans to go, but this thing made them all the more anxious to go.
They were just like, nah, George has got it, whatever. That is so funny that they just dipped on him.
It says ODOT officials struggled with what to do with the whale. Rendering plants said no thanks. They said burying was iffy because the waves would likely have just uncovered the carcass.
Yeah. So
and it was too big to burn.
You know what? I will give him credit.
I will give him a little bit more credit.
He taught us what not to do, and also in a way that no one got hurt. A car got smashed, but no one got hurt from what I'm hearing.
He says here, no one was hurt, but pretty much everyone was wearing whale bits and pieces.
Yeah, so as far as things go, like, everyone has a story for life. One person's car, got smashed, but, out of all the things that could have happened, awesome.
He did, George is a character, because here it did say that, some people did try to contact him for the 25th anniversary of the story. And he declined, and he told them that every time I talk with the media, it tends to blow up in my face.
But George. Oh.
R.I.P. man.
We would have loved to have you on the show, not, as press. Just right, as appreciation.
Just a pure legend.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I vote that from now on we celebrate November 12th as a whale disposal day.
Yes, national holiday.
It's right close to Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald Day. So we need some more holidays in November. And I think that would be a great one on the 12th, because Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald is the 10th, and then November 11th is Veterans Day, I'm pretty sure. Yes. And then the 12th can now be Whale Day. Whale disposal day.
It did say in, if you are in the area, that in 2019 they have renamed the notorious stretch of sand Exploding Whale Memorial Park.
Oh my gosh, amazing.
So if you are in Florence, Oregon, please go check that out.
If we ever go to Oregon, we are totally stopping by there.
100%.